Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This is my first list video for the end of the year. This is for the 25 best off-road drivers. You can check out my video, which is linked in the description below, which explains what I'm doing a bit more here. But essentially it's graded a little bit on a curve. So if you're expected to be a champion and you're not, it would be different to if you're expected to not be a champion and you are. You might find one-time event winners on here, you might find champions on here, and you might find that in some cases, one person is beaten out by the other one. Without further ado, let's get into it. In 25th place is Johan Bernardo. Runner-up in the French National Championship doesn't seem like much to write home about, but Bernardo's story is about more than final standings. Bernardo, donning a throwback Citroen livery this year, dominated the Ilha Canaria round of the ERC and performed well in the finale. But in between he was sidelined for 3 months after fracturing 3 vertebrae, 1 in his back, 2 in his neck. A great comeback, and he could have easily been national champion. Bernardo is good, despite what the end of season standings say. In 24th is Travis Pastrana, and you feel for Travis Pastrana. His Nitro RX series is now gone, but he has done well in the ARA this season. Second to Semenuk again in the all-conquering new Subaru. 3 wins from 3 to end the season was good, but a lackluster start to the season didn't help. In 23rd is Patrick O'Donovan. O'Donovan had a great year. Almost unbeatable in the European Rallycross Championship, he did very well in his one-off World Championship entry in Istanbul. His closest rivals were good, and he would have done well against some tougher competition too. But a great championship win ended up not really grabbing headlines. In 22nd is Diego Dominguez Jr. Son of a double Codesa champion, Diego Dominguez Jr. is one of those drivers who's starting to make a name for himself in the world of rallying. The JWRC title eluded him, but he was in title contention at the end of the season. Perhaps unsurprising given that a dozen drivers were, thanks to double points and stage win points, but the 6th place hides the true potential. Potential that he showed winning WRC 3. Let's hope for some headlines next year when his home round joins WRC. In 21st is Abdulaziz Al-Kuwari. Al-Kuwari has been around rallying for years. A WRC regular a decade ago, the 2-time Qatari champion finally has his first FIA crown. His MERC crown is one that people will be rushing to put asterisks on, given that 2 of the 5 rounds of the calendar were cancelled in Lebanon and Oman. But it is a deserved crown, with 2 podiums and 4th place in the 3rd round, where competition was at its strongest. In 20th place is Niklas Gronholm. It's another year of what could have been for Gronholm. 2019 was arguably the biggest of these, where illness arguably cost him the title. This year, it was reliability, or unreliability. Gronholm missed 3 finals this year. If he made them, he could have made it to vice champion. But it wasn't to be. But hey, the Hansons aren't on this list, and neither is OC Vebe. In 19th place is Sebastian Loeb. Loeb is still being Loeb. The WRC's goat pops up every once in a while and is still competitive. 2 wins at home, in Rally 2 and Rally GT, and 2 podiums in the W2RC from 3 starts. The Dakar win still eludes him. He was outperforming relative veteran teammate Nasser Al-Attiyah, and rotten luck with punches and reliability cost him this time. Dacia's ProDrive developed Sand Rider looks good for next year. Maybe it'll finally be his time. In 18th is Yazid Al-Rajhi. Yazid arguably carried the Toyota team this season in W2RC, winning in Argentina on stages that he would remember from his days in the WRC. Second in Abu Dhabi and 2 other top 5s rounded out a good season, though a non-finish in the Dakar arguably cost him the title. However, outside of this, there's not much more to write home about this season. Al-Rajhi is still competitive, but needs to take it up another notch with fiercer competition next year. In 17th place is Romain Jurgensen. From gamer to world champion, Jurgensen is the next emerging talent from Estonia. And that's even though there are some Estonian stars running around in Rally 2. The FIA Rally Star graduate could have won the JWRC even more convincingly if it hadn't been for some mistakes and rotten luck that you only get when you're a relative novice at the top level. Let's see how he does next year in WRC2. In 16th place is Brandon Semenuk. Now thrice an ARA champion in a row, Semenuk has been carrying rallying in North America. He even took some breaks to go to Europe for a WRC2 ride in the GR Yaris and down under to the Otago. Semenuk won the championship with a round to spare, handing his car to Leah Block for the finale. But it's altogether a great run by a great driver once again this year. In 15th place is Nikolai Gryajan. I am very much wondering how long it will be until we see Gryajan drive a Rally 1. His first Rally 2 season was 2017 in the ERC. His first start in that class was in 2015. 2024 was yet another solid season. The now 27-year-old helped DG Sport to the team's championship alongside teammate Johan Russell, and he had an outside chance of the driver's title too. What next for the Bulgarian licensee? In 14th place is Elfyn Evans. It may be harsh to put the WRC vice champion so low, especially when the season ended on such a high with his first win in a year. But that's exactly why he's so low down. Elfyn Evans was generally consistent, dependable, but he didn't really show rally winning pace much this season. A season where he should have been able to make the most of a world champion teammate on sabbatical. Instead, until the end of the season, Ogier was the team's lead driver, had to be asked to do the rest of the season to help the team out. Hopefully 2025 will bring what Elfyn needs. With hybrid gone, the car will be more straightforward. In 13th place is Chris Ingram. A fine Monte Carlo performance before mechanical issues put him out was a quiet start to Ingram's year. By the end of it, the 2019 European Rally Champion became the first driver to win both the coveted European and British titles. Started the season in the Polo, his switch to the GR Yaris helped string together a title bid that went down to the very last stage. However, it could have been easier had it not been for mistakes on the Jim Clark or a wet Sunday in Wales on Ceredigion. The season was rounded out with another WRC appearance in Japan thanks to Castrol, where he ran 5th in class until the fuel pump went. In 12th is Carlo Rovanperä. It seems wrong to put the reigning World Rally Champion here, especially as he's the winningest driver, 4 wins from 7 starts. The most impressive was arguably Poland, called up at the last minute to replace an injured Ogier mid-recce. But a year of impressive highs also had hideous lows. His other 3 WRC entries were ruined by offs. The Finland one was dramatic and tragic, the same stage his father crashed out on right before the end of the rally. Maybe it's the WRC's Andretti curse, the Rovanperä in Finland. But the other 2 were very much his own mistakes. Carlo wanted a quiet 2024 on the sidelines. That's why he skipped the Japan. He'd already done his contracted rallies. Whilst Ogier went above and beyond and mounted an unlikely title bid, Carlo had fun doing drifting and other random bits and bobs. I don't think Rovanperä is necessarily the next Ogier or Loeb. This year, he was the next Mäkinen. Checkers or wreckers. In 11th is Nasser Al-Attiyah. And it seems strange to put a world champion here, especially as he isn't the top W2RC entrant on this list. But there's a reason for it. Where Al-Attiyah was doing well, he didn't have the most impressive field to be up against. His closest W2RC rivals were former WRC privateer Yazid Al-Rajhi, relative rookies Marej and Quintero, and the Baumgarts and privateer Podrives. In his native MERC, he went without the title for the first time since 2010. After tying last year for his 19th title, he lost to compatriot Abdulaziz Al-Kuwari this year thanks to a retirement of the season opening Qatar International Rally, and the rounds in Lebanon and Oman being cancelled. We're now into our top 10, and opening us up in 10th place is Oliver Solberg. It's really a case of what could have been for Oliver Solberg. If it hadn't been for Portugal, where he came across a crashed Rovanperä and went off distracted. If it hadn't been for Chile, where a penalty effectively ended the title bid by dropping him to 4th. Maybe if Gus Greensmith took a penalty in Chile, Solberg would have been champion. He would have tied with Pajari on points and probably taken it on countback for winning Sweden. But it really shouldn't have come down to that. At least he's won his home event in the ERC. Who knows? Maybe the 2025 Toyota deal will yield that long-awaited title. Let's hope. In 9th place is Adrien Fourmeau. And putting Fourmeau above half the rally winners in 2024 might seem a bit much. Especially after he got only his first podium this season. But there's a method to the madness. Fourmeau came back from a year on the sidelines in the Rally 2s in the BRC with a point to prove. Champion in Britain, his job was to keep the car on the road, which he generally did, with the biggest mistake being on the CER. On the stages, he got 5 podiums in 5 very different events. The snow of ice of Sweden, the rough safari, Poland's country lanes, Finland's gravel highways, and the twisty tarmac of Japan. He even won his Hyundai debut against Carlo Rompera in France, and won the Monza Rally Show as a send-off to M Sport. Deserving of that 3rd full-time Hyundai ride next season. Perhaps he'll get his first win. In 8th place is Oyt Tanak. It might seem harsh, but the driver of the WRC is 8 in P8. And that's because it almost certainly is. But, as the only full-time champion in the WRC in 2024, people probably expected more. Whilst the Tanak-Hyundai partnership went south over 2021 and 2022, it was expected that the 2024 reunion would yield greater success than the 2 wins and distant 4th in the 2023 standings with Ford. But we're here again with 2 wins and 4th in the standings. Some of it is bad luck. A crash in his home rally as a warm-up for Latvia, a high-speed exit in Poland, as well as rolls in Finland and the finale in Japan, summed up a season of potential unrealised. Oyt Tanak came into the final day of the season with a shot at becoming a 2-time champion. He entered the day at the side of the road, the back of his i20 missing, and 4th in the standings behind a part-time Ogier and an Elfyn Evans who went on to claim his sole win in the finale after Oyt's off. In 7th place is Matteo Franceschi. For a driver who hadn't even gotten a podium to his name in the ERC at the start of the season, Franceschi accomplished a lot in 2024. Nearly winning the season opener in Hungary, and doubling up with a second place at round 2 at Ila Canaria. He was leading the points with first win being almost a dead cert. But the win didn't come. And in the other 6 rallies, he only got 1 more podium in rails. The 2 retirements were unfortunate, with Sweden a rare mistake and the Bahrain being rotten luck with spare tyres. But he took the title battle to the finale in Poland, and I'm sure an extra year's experience will bode him well next year. In 6th place is Carlos Sainz. Now a 4-time Dakar winner, this time without winning a single stage, Carlos Sainz has made history. And not just for tying 3rd in all-time wins for Ari Vatanen, but also becoming the first driver to do it in an electric car before Audi swiftly left the W2RC and bringing a lawsuit into matters to the FIA. Sainz found himself in the lurch. He drove for 3 different teams this season in the W2RC, eventually landing himself with an M Sport stint for the 3rd time as they line up for their Dakar debut in 2025. In 5th place is Johan Kristoffersson. A 7-time world champion now. It's no surprise that Johan Kristoffersson is in the top 5 on this list. Winning 5 of the 10 events is also an amazing feat, albeit one perhaps a little shy of what we'd expect such a dominant driver in seasons past to accomplish. Back with an ICE car as Wilder X had his battle of technologies. Only 2 rounds that were won by ICE weren't by Kristoffersson. Teammate Veiby got one and Juha Ritkonen got the other, both in the Istanbul finale. Elsewhere, Kristoffersson still managed to flex his muscles in Extreme E and in traditional rallying. Whilst it might seem strange for me to put a 7-time champion in his title-winning year so low, I can also imagine his critics claiming that I'm putting him a little too high. In 4th place is Sami Pajari. Supporting Series champion, multiple top-class drives, and a full-time works ride for 2025, I think Sami Pajari is a deserving winner of a top 5 slot on this list. It wasn't a perfect season for him. Although only his 2nd full season in Rally 2 machinery, and in a brand new Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2 at that, there was some room for improvement. A crash in Portugal where his rival Solberg also went off meant he had it all to do with the finale in Japan. Likewise, a crash at the end of the CER put an asterisk on that fascinating Finnish debut in Rally 1. Even that had some asterisks, being fast but losing his aero in an off on Friday morning. That said, as with drivers below and above him on this list, he is a worthy champion, and deserves what will be a fantastic opportunity in 2025. In third place is Hayden Paddon. The first repeat European champion since Kajtan Kajtanovic went 3 in a row, and still the only non-European to win the title to date, I'd say that Paddon's stock has never really been higher than in 2024. Such a shame given that, if rumours are to be believed, he's not going to continue in international competition after this year. Paddon added to his ERC crown with yet another win of the APRC. He could have gotten a treble with a crown in his native New Zealand, but for missing the Otago rally thanks to the ERC opener in Hungary being at the same time. Both rallies that he could have won, barring not entering the Otago and a fatal puncture in Hungary. And that was the story of Paddon's successful title defence. He could have won in Hungary, but for the final stage drama that cost him more points than it should have. A similar drama in Sweden that didn't cost him the win to Oliver Solberg, but did cost him second. Tyre choice and better compounds on his rivals cost him in Poland. But he enjoyed a dominant win in the UK with Rally Karadighian, and in a season where 8 different drivers won the 8 ERC events, he came out swinging and emerged above the rest to take the title. In second place is Sébastien Ogier. This is probably hardly surprising, despite it being one of Ogier's worst seasons on the stages. Despite having missed 3 rounds, 2 of which were planned in Sweden and Kenya, and 1 unplanned thanks to a recce crash outside of Mikołajki, Ogier was in second place in the standings after Finland. A rally he had been called up to do thanks to his fine form beforehand, with 2 wins and 3 second places from 5 starts. Ogier won a rally that's never been his favourite, in Toyota's backyard. Make that 3 wins from 6. Sure, after this his form dropped off. A crash on the power stage in Greece after pushing too hard for the title. A puncture and a nasty impact in Chile that forced him to Super Rally. A particularly uncharacteristic crash on Sunday during the CER topping that off. But this is an Ogier who's been part-time for 4 years now. He was only ever meant to be part of the supporting cast for Toyota. A fine second place in Japan meant he saw the season out in 3rd, but regardless, he picked up more wins than any full-timer in 2024 and as many podiums as runner-up Elfyn Evans. I think he's a deserved runner-up here, and hey, if the point system was like it was in the 90s or the 70s, he could have even stolen the title. Number 1 is Thierry Neuville. I think it's hard not to give the number 1 spot here to the world champion, especially given the season that Thierry Neuville has had. Neuville led the title from start to finish. When the new for 2024 point system had its debut, he got the maximum haul the first time of asking. He only won on 1 other occasion this season, the dramatic Acropolis rally, but he only ever finished outside of the points once too in Sardinia, after sliding off the stage in an unrecoverable spot. He certainly didn't have a faultless season, but he played his cards right all year long, built up a good buffer ahead of the fast gravel rallies that he usually struggles at, picked up a good 4th in Poland, and even better 2nd in Finland by keeping on the gravel highways when his rivals faltered. He saw off the rivalry within the team of Wojtanek, as well as the dark horse Ogier, who surprised everyone with his push for world title number 9. Mathematical, measured, and calculated. That's the story of the Neuville Vidaga 11 crew in 2024. Gone were the days of fast but crash happy antics of 2015 or 2017, or even 2018 and 2019. The man who was runner-up more times than anyone else in WRC history was finally a champion, and a deserved one. And that is my list. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit like, and if you want to stay in the loop, hit subscribe, because we'll be doing this for Formula Cars, for Tin Tops, and for Prototype Racing. As we get our way towards the end of 2024, look forward to 2025, and hey, may even wrap them all up in a nice top 100 drivers. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.